Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another CUNYAC fall feature. With fall sports canceled due to COVID-19 pandemic, we here at CUNYAC are spotlighting student athlete once a week during the fall semester, highlighting their accomplishments, talking about the experience at the collegiate level, and what they've been up to over the past few months during quarantine. I'm your host, Eldridge Chavez, and you can catch the CUNYAC fall feature every Friday here on our website, cunyathletics.com, and on our YouTube channel, CUNY Athletics, as well as our social media sites by searching CUNY Athletics. From York College, please welcome the Cardinals version of the Swiss Army knife, Geraldine Guese. Geraldine, thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Um, I need to ask you just straight off the back. I'm a Yankee fan. Tonight's game one of the ALDS. I need to ask you, how are you a Mets fan? I just need to know.
So how to become a Mets fan? So it started with my dad. He started working at Shea Stadium, then became
Okay.
Citi Field, and my family and I, we've just been going to the games. And we also we don't live too far from Citi Field, so that's how we're able to go to the games, and that's how I just became a Mets fan.
All right. I mean, it's all good fun. I just saw in your bio that you're a Met fan, and I just needed to know. But it makes sense that you have, aligning with your dad, and then the fact that
Yeah.
you guys, don't live too far from Citi Field makes perfect sense. On a more serious note, why did you pick your college to study at?
So when I was going over the different CUNY schools, I saw that your college had a dual degree program for
Okay.
occupational therapy. So that's what kind of pulled me in, because
Hmm.
that's the major I wanted to go in for.
Okay. And we'll probably touch base a little further down the road, but why occupational therapy? What about it, really just grab your attention?
So a little story on that. I was actually bouncing around with majors when I first was in LaGuardia.
Hmm.
So when I did speak to an advisor, she had told me about all my prereqs that I already had. And given my experiences that I had outside of school, with my sports, it kind of all just tied in together to the career path of being an occupational therapist. So I thought my experiences and with the classes I had been already taking, it would all fit into that
Okay.
major.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that you're coming from LaGuardia Community College to York.
Yes.
Oh, all right, perfect. Okay, so that makes perfect sense. All right, I thought you started as a freshman at York, but makes perfect sense. Um, so your main sport, and correct me if I'm wrong, is tennis, correct?
Yes.
All right. When did you start playing tennis? And
I don't
what's
remember the exact age, but I was very young.
yeah.
I started with a free tennis program called NYJTL, which maybe some are familiar with. And it's because it was a free program and I only did it in the summertime, I was able to build up my skills through that.
Okay. And what about tennis? Separates from all the other sports that you play.
I think tennis is very, well, I mean, just like other sports, is competitive, but I think the way I'm able to use my agility skills and how there's also positions where I could be a singles player and a doubles player, like I'm able to both work on myself and then work with a partner and kind of build on from there. Um, Again, with the skills, and also just have a connection with other teammates. Because
Okay.
for doubles, for me, I haven't stuck with one doubles partner for a while. I would sometimes have to change partners. So that would give me new experiences and new ways to kind of develop my skills, or if I had to
Gotcha.
adapt to their playing skills.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. So introduced you as the York's version of a Swiss Army knife because you play multiple sports. You play tennis, soccer,
Yeah.
um, track and field. I think you even took swimming for a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, like, how did you get into sports? Like, where did that start from?
So the very, very first sport I participated in was Taekwondo. And I believe because Taekwondo taught me so many ways to move my body in so many ways, and I was able to build, muscles in like every part of my body. I feel like I was able to then move my body and adapt to the different kind of sports. Um, so yeah, I feel like Taekwondo really was like my main building block to me spreading out to different sports.
Okay, and we'll definitely touch on that. I found some interesting things about your Taekwondo experience. Um, so you also excel at soccer. I mean, you do great in all the other sports. You know, obviously I mentioned you got a gold in indoor track and field, but you started playing soccer, I believe in high school, right?
Yes, I did.
All right. So what about that sport? You know, that grabbed your attention and had you also play on the collegiate level?
So when when in high school, I actually wasn't too interested in joining in the soccer team. My gym teacher was the soccer coach. And so I was already too late to join into the team. So he
Yeah.
kind of like while in gym would give me like kind of personal soccer training
Hmm.
during gym class, and he would tell me like drills to do so that the next year I would be able to join in. And then since then, because me and my teammates had like a great connection, I found that sport to be very fun to do, and I felt like again I was my body was capable of moving in the ways that soccer players should be doing, and I was able to run, score goals, or make plays, assists, and stuff like that.
Okay. So I saw when you were playing with the Cardinals under their soccer team that you played as a goalkeeper for a little bit. Like not too long. I think you tallied maybe 10, 15 minutes. How was that like? Like
I
are you a
that was a pretty first shocking, but then I was like, yeah, let's do this. Like I was like in between like, oh my gosh, I don't want to mess this up, and like, and I was also at the same time I was kind of like, oh my gosh, I hope a ball comes toward me so I can like make that save.
yeah,
um, which a ball did come to me, but it wasn't like in the craziest way. So I
yeah.
did make like uh, a small
You got
little
the
save,
save.
and yeah, I think it was just a fun experience to have to be part of that kind of like goalie position for the first time ever.
No,
I
that's
like
awesome.
never thought I'd be in that position, but it was fun. It was cool.
Nah, I get it. That's like I don't know, a baseball player, like a shortstop, you know, pitching. During
Yeah,
the, yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of like that. It's kind of a cool thing to have under your belt. So I'm glad you got to experience that. Um, so again, you know, you're multi-sport talented. Um, I read a quote and I was a little surprised by this. It says that you don't want a future playing sports. Why not?
So, how do I say this? I do so many sports that like I don't concentrate on one particular one.
Hmm.
If I did want to, and I've had like the thought of becoming like a professional like Taekwondo
Yeah.
um athlete, but again, I didn't like not consistently stay with it, but if I really wanted to focus on becoming like a professional athlete, I think I would have just stayed focused on that one sport. But because I was so interested in so many other sports, it kind of just took the time away from me just focusing on one sport. Um, but it's not like I'm going to ever give up sports. It's just that now that career path and being a
Yeah,
professional is kind of a little too far away from me now. So yeah.
I get it. I mean, you're the Deion Sanders of York College. So I might be saying my age there. Deion Sanders, he played football, he played baseball back in like in the '90s. So I see it like that. That's great, and you're absolutely right. You know, other student athletes talk about giving like 110% to a specific sport if they want to, pursue a career in that. If not, then
Yeah.
it's kind of like I readjust my priorities. So no, I respect that. And I'll be remiss to not mention this. And if I got another sport that you played wrestling in high school,
Yes, I did.
and you said Taekwondo had such a impact in that. How is how did that transition work out from Taekwondo into wrestling? How did that propel you into one of the top members of your team? Because I even read that the coach said that you were one of the like top tiers wrestlers for your high school.
So in Taekwondo, it's not just about like kicking and punching. We of course learn self-defense moves from standing up or being on the ground. So a lot of groundwork, and also in my Taekwondo, my master had incorporated some kind of like jiu-jitsu kind of classes. So I was able to use that, like use what I learned from my Taekwondo school and
Yeah.
put it into wrestling, and just make a little bit of tweaks. And once again, like my body was already physically um fit and kind of like structured in that way where I was able to like take in like aggression or like head weight and stuff like that. So I felt like the two, taekwondo and wrestling, was like pretty similar. So I was
Yeah.
able to adjust it like fairly quickly.
Okay. Um, and how does Taekwondo help you with like the sports that you play now?
Like I said, it's a huge like main building block. I was, you know, able to work on a lot of movements, a lot of flexibility to help, me use what I learned in Taekwondo and spread out to other sports. Um, and that's what I always think about when when I joined other sports, like, like, oh, I'm able to like kick a soccer ball because, I kicked paddles in Taekwondo,
Hmm.
or I'm able to run this fast because in Taekwondo, like we did a lot of speed drills, or I'm able to run for a long period of time because we worked on, working on our endurance and stamina
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
No, I get it. Okay, great. That's great. Um, so let's we'll stick into the whole sports part, but I just kind of want to get your opinion, and not really your opinion, but how you personally feel about these accolades that you achieved at your time at York so far. So I already mentioned you're a three-time All-Star, you're a two-time All-Star in tennis, and like I mentioned earlier, you're the first Cardinal since 2011 to be named first team All-Star. Uh, how does that make you feel to achieve such an accolade that's been almost a decade since it happened?
Definitely makes me very proud of that
Yeah,
accomplishment. Um, Never thought like that could happen.
yeah,
But yeah, it makes me proud and just, make me feel very good about myself that, even though I had a very busy kind of schedule and I was doing multiple sports, that I was able to still achieve something very big and honorable.
yeah. Okay, that's great, and I'm sure the Cardinal teams. York is all proud of you for your accomplishments, and I spoke to Harris a few times, your SID, and he's said nothing but great things about you. Um, so that's great. I also read on your tennis game that your serve is the weakest part of your game. Have you worked on it, and have you worked on it during this pandemic specifically?
So yes, my my tennis was the weakest to me. My first serve wasn't hard
Uh,
already, and then my second serve was just like a tap in, which isn't supposed to be like a tap in if you like really good at tennis.
yeah.
So, um, when I was during the team, during the season, my coach, Coach Gemma, she helped me a lot on my serve, gave me a lot of tips.
Hmm.
And then I saw the progression of how well I was doing, and all of a sudden I was hitting like slice serves and my, or just really hard serves, and I was
Yeah.
like impressed with myself about like how I had transitioned from doing a tap serve to now serving really hard. So I'm very proud of that. And during the pandemic, I have not been able to play tennis as much. I did play like 2, 3 times, but it was
Mhm.
only for like for fun, not anything competitive.
Okay, no, I get that, and obviously, we want to be safe during
Yeah,
the time that
exactly.
we're in right now, and I totally get it. So, we're about to wrap up really soon. I got maybe one or two more questions for you. Um, the for the tennis team, the York Cardinals, made it to the postseason last year for CUNYAC. What was that experience like for you to be able to play, on like the top level against these top tier teams?
It was very, how do I say it? It was great to have that experience where
Hmm.
I was able to play with others who are on, on higher levels. I get to, experience that, and also look back and be like, okay, if I want to continue this again, what do I work on? What do I need to adjust? So with that being said, like it's great for me. It's always about the experience that's gonna help me learn and get better
Okay.
in the long run.
All right, great. Um, so Geraldine, again, thank you so much for sitting with us. I do have one more question. Um, what's the future hold for you?
Future hope for me. For me, I just hope that I fulfill my dreams, fulfill, everything that I dreamt of, whether it's in my career
Mhm.
life, my social life.
Yeah.
Just I have so many things I want to do. This pandemic has put it to a halt, but I'm sure and I'm hoping for that it'll just all happen sooner or later.
No, I totally agree 100%. Hopefully, in the near future, like, we don't know what kind of world we're gonna be living in next month or the month after, but hopefully we get back to some sort of normalcy. But again, Geraldine, thank you so much. Again, all of luck in your future endeavors. I
Thank
truly
you.
appreciate you taking the time out and sitting with me and having this chat.
Thank you very much for having me again.
All right, guys, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Big thank you to Geraldine, our guest today. Just remember, the fall feature does air every Friday on our website, CUNY Athletics. Thank you again one more time. Thank you again, Geraldine. Until next time, cheers.